Yesterday, we started off talking about cellular respiration, and we learned that respiration happens in the mitochondria. We started off by trying to figure out which organisms on the list will use the process of respiration. However, based on Stanger, we know that every living thing has to be able to do the process of respiration. Every single living thing must be able to do the process of respiration. We then had to explain our thinking. How did we decide whether an organism uses the process of respiration? And to make this short and sweet, every living organism must be able to use the process of respiration. Perfect. And then we went on. We started filling in our notes. We know that respiration is to breathe for energy. We also learned that energy is also called ATP. Cellular respiration, since we're trying to make energy, cellular respiration is going to occur inside of the mitochondria. We learned our equation, and it was easy to remember the equation because it's photosynthesis backwards. So we're going to start off with one thing from the sky. Instead of the sun energy, though, we're going to make ATP energy. One thing from around us is carbon dioxide. And then one thing from below is water. And we make two things, oxygen and, of course, glucose. So once you know one equation, you know the other one. Then we had to separate what the reactants are versus what the products. We know the reactants are what goes into the equation, and the products are what comes out of the equation. We had two reactants here. We had oxygen, and we also had glucose. Our products are three things that comes out of the equation. We have the most important is ATP. We have carbon dioxide, and we have our water. Then we went on to our next page where we had to draw the organelle. The organelle is a mitochondria, so it should kind of be in this shape right here. We know that we had two things that goes into the equation, which is oxygen as well as glucose. And then we also know that we have three things that leave the equation. The first and most important is ATP, carbon dioxide, and we have water. We are going to start with something new. There are two types of cellular respiration. One is aerobic respiration and one is anaerobic respiration. This word right here, and actually means without. Without. So aerobic respiration is when you can make energy with oxygen And anaerobic respiration, anaerobic was without. So this is when you can make energy without oxygen. Aerobic respiration is also called cellular respiration. We already know that cellular respiration occurs in the mitochondria. Aerobic respiration, the one that comes with oxygen, is going to make a lot of ATP, a lot of energy. Different organisms that carry out cellular respiration or aerobic respiration are things like plants and animals. However, anaerobic respiration, so without oxygen, so this is when we take out our oxygen. There is no oxygen, but they still need to make energy. Anaerobic respiration is also called fermentation. Since it's without oxygen, it's going to occur on the outside of the mitochondria. So right around the mitochondria, we know is a cytoplasm. Since it's without oxygen, we're not going to make a lot of ATP. So we're going to put less ATP. This happens in things like bacteria, which doesn't have lungs, and yeast cells, which also doesn't have lungs. And yeast are found in bread. This also happens in humans. Let's say you are working out, and you're working out, and you're working out, and your cells, your muscle cells, run out of oxygen. So now you're going to still push yourself. You're still going to work out, but your body doesn't have any more oxygen for your cells. So what happens is, as long as you're pushing yourself, you're still going to be able to make energy, but you're not going to use any oxygen. This is what makes your muscles hurt after you work out really, really hard. So this happens in the human muscles. So whenever you run out of oxygen in your muscles, but you're still pushing, you're still running your laps around the track, you're still lifting your weights, this is called anaerobic respiration. And you know that anaerobic respiration has occurred in your muscles when they start to hurt the next day. That's because you forced yourself to make energy, but your muscle cells no longer had oxygen.